Hi everyone, today we're going to read chapter 5 of Devil's Bridge. Grabbing a sandwich from the pack, I headed up the beach. The island came to a point at its farthest northwest tip, and as I rounded the curve of the beach, I lost sight of Jeff. The cliffs had eroded over the years, sending huge boulders that were trapped in the clay tumbling to the beach below. I was walking among them in the shallow water, looking for signs of fish, when I thought I heard voices over the roar of the waves. Looking ahead, I saw two figures standing close together by a large rock. The wind was blowing toward me, carrying the sounds of their voices. I squinted, trying to make out who it was, and caught a snatch of their conversation. Was thinking I'd have it mounted, put on the wall, show everybody. Mounted? Are you crazy? After that fish gets weighed, you get rid of it, hear me? Get rid of it. Seems a shame. Listen to me. It'll be a bigger shame if we get caught, you fool. Now forget about it. For a minute there was silence. Then, are you sure I should enter it on the first day? It might look suspicious. We're lucky to have kept it alive this long. 6 days isn't so long. No sense pushing our luck. What if the judges find the mercury? How are they going to do that? My heart was as loud as the waves that pounded the shore, and I strained to listen. What if they got it? Would you just relax? That's the beauty of it. Even if they got it, they won't find the mercury. They're going to weigh it. They're going to see if it's a record fish. They're going to see that it's a record fish. And they're going to give us a lot of money. Listen, there's no way to tell, and the fish ain't going to be talking, you see? We divvy up the money, I go my merry way, and you get to be a big hero here on the island. End of story. Happily ever after, the whole bit. That's if you don't blow it. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. They were talking about cheating in the derby. The wind shifted and I couldn't hear the smaller man's reply. Leaning closer, I lost my balance and fell forward slightly. The sudden movement caught the eye of the larger man. Oh no. And he looked my way. There was silence. It even seemed that the waves had stopped crashing. Hey, you kid, he called. Yeah, I answered casually, stepping away from the rock as if I hadn't been hiding, but merely walking along. What are you doing? He asked. His eyes narrowed, a scowl twisted the corners of his mouth, and smoke from a cigarette snaked slowly from his nostrils. Now that I could see both men clearly, I recognized the smaller one from the docks. It was Freddie Cobb, who fished with Captain Norton on the Aquina, looking like a scared rabbit. I didn't recognize Freddie's companion, but I sure didn't like the way he was looking at me. I knew better than to let on that I had heard anything. Hi, Freddie, I said, trying to sound normal. Freddie gave me a short nod. To the big man, I said, What do you think I'm doing? Fishing. How long you been standing there? He asked. I just came around the point, I said. We got into some small blues, so I came to see if there was anything happening here. No, answered Freddie quickly, nothing. The big man looked sharply at him. Freddie got lucky this morning, he said. Caught a big striper. We're going up to enter it now. Come on, he said, giving Freddie a push. Let's go. Where's the fish? I asked. Freddie looked down. The big man said brusquely, In the cooler. Can I see it? I asked. It's not here, said the big man, walking faster. Where did you catch it? I called after them. Freddie looked back and answered, Right here. Gonna beat your daddy's record, I think, Ben. I watched them disappear around the curve of the cliffs, fear and anger and disbelief rising together inside me. I ran back to Jeff, gasping, You won't believe what I just heard. Freddie Cobb and some other guy are cheating. They're entering a fish that they caught 6 days ago, so not during the derby, and they're doing something to make it weigh more, something with mercury. So mercury is very heavy. So it would make something feel a lot heavier. Jeff reeled in his line, slowly staring at me. No way, he said. Really, I answered. I was just walking around the point, and I heard them talking before they realized I was there. Freddie was acting real nervous. What should we do? We've got to stop them, I said. How? Asked Jeff. I don't know. Tell somebody. But how can we prove it? Asked Jeff. I don't know. Freddie was worried somebody would find the mercury. What would they do with mercury? And how did they get mercury inside a fish anyway? Beats me, Jeff said with a shrug, but I remember learning that mercury's real heavy. If they think they're going to beat my father's record with a doctored-up fish, they've got another thing coming. I felt a fresh burst of anger at the idea. Come on, let's go. Where? Asked Jeff. Let's go see if your parents will take us down to Chick's for the weigh-in tonight. We can tell somebody there what I heard, I said. We put our gear in the cave, got our bikes, and pedaled furiously until we reached Jeff's house. The lights were out and the pickup wasn't in the driveway. They're fishing, said Jeff. There's no telling when they'll be back. They might fish most of the night. I'll call my house, I said. The phone rang and rang. Mom must have already left to go out to dinner with Barry the Bozo. Shoot, I said, shaking my head with frustration. The contest was set up so that fish could be entered twice a day, from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock in the morning or the evening. But Derby headquarters were down at the other end of the island, more than 15 miles away. There was no way Jeff and I could bike there in time, and no one was around to drive us. We might as well go back and keep fishing, Jeff said with a shrug. We're not going to get down there tonight. Why don't we just wait until tomorrow? In the morning, we can ask my parents what to do. Besides, maybe the judges will pay more attention to us if they are grown-ups along. I guess, I said reluctantly. It bugged me to think of those two getting away with their plan for even one night, to think of people believing Freddie Cobb had beaten Pop's record with his phony fish. As we pulled up our bikes once again at the beach, I had an idea. Jeff, I said, we could go back and call Chick. He'll believe us. Man, I don't want to go all the way back home again. You can go if you want, but I want to do some fishing. I stood uncertainly on the path. Maybe Jeff was right. We should do some fishing and wait until the morning to report what I'd heard. I followed him down the beach trail, but the fun had gone out of the night. So we have come across our big problem in our story.